What's up, guys? Thanks so much for checking out the channel again. Today we have another unboxing. We are excited to continue on with Star Wars Armada here. We picked up and did the Separatist fleet yesterday, so definitely check out that video. And today we are going to unbox the Galactic Republic fleet starter for you guys. So very, very excited about this. It's been, quite some time since Armada's gotten really any serious attention. I mean, we had a campaign release, some alternate rules, and the Super Star Destroyer, and that's really been it for the last several years. So it is great to finally have, first of all, other factions to play as, bringing a whole bunch of new, ships, ideas, tactics, all that fun stuff, strategies to the game. But just also allowing for ways to do new things with the existing fleets as well. So Republican Empire, or Rebellion and Empire aren't left out entirely. They will get some new toys in the form of upgrades and stuff to play with as well. But we're going to primarily focus here on just unboxing this Republic starter and going from there. So we'll take you guys through it, and we'll be right back. Alrighty, guys, so we got everything unboxed for you, and just like with the Separatist fleet, so there is a ton in this rather small box. So we get an updated rule book. You can see that right below us here. Your measuring device, things for your various dials, the plastic bases, the fighter bases with the fighters there. They're pre-colored in sort of a reddish color to contrast with the Separatist blue. Dice, of course, various things you need to put your dials together. Right below here, 3 very solid sheets of cardboard for all your various tokens, ship cards and ship dials and all that fun stuff. Of course, our deck of cards, which will include an updated damage deck, and then the ships themselves, of course, which is really what we're here for as well. So really nice on the paint job there. So again, we have these guys and kind of the back end there. So yeah, we get 2 of these, and then our medium here, which again, very nicely done on the paint job there. So from sort of top down as well, and then out the back. So the engines, interesting that those weren't really colored. We got 2 of the smaller ones with sort of a bluish glow on them, but nothing on the mains here. Not sure if that's intentional or not, but easily fixed though if you want to do some work there. So kind of again, just a rear end view there, and sort of from the side rear, and then the bottom there, so hangar bays and stuff. So overall, really cool stuff there. So we'll be right back. We'll get the cards open. We'll take a look at what we got. All right, guys, let's take a look and see what we get as far as new squadrons, ships, and upgrades and stuff for the Republic starter here. So we get in the starter fleet here V19 Torrent Squadron. That's our generic. Speed 3, 5 hull. It's pretty decent. 2 blue and a red for anti-squadron, a black for anti-ship. That's always nice. Not a bomber, though, but escort and swarm. So I can't recall us really having both of those in the same package with the existing fleet, so that's actually a neat little combination of things there. And those are clocking in at 12 points apiece. So basically, we get 3 stands of those in the starter, or 4 if you don't want to run the ace version of that. Speaking of that, is Axe, and that is a upgraded squadron here, basically. So. And basically, escort and swarm. We do get a brace, which is pretty typical, and an evade, which again, I think that's like the first time we've seen that on an ace of any kind, at least my recollection for the moment. But anyway, special ability here: before another friendly squadron at distance 1 suffers damage during an attack, you may spend 1 defense token to reduce the total damage by 1, which is pretty solid, keeping your buddies alive. Now, obviously you can't apply it to yourself, right? It says another friendly squadron, but that can be really useful for keeping not just like other V19s alive, but maybe using Axe here to sort of soak damage for things like Jedi and stuff like that. So a lot of interesting possibilities with him, and that will basically run you 5 more points than the standard V19 Torrent. So so overall, pretty good start there, and I'm sure we'll get maybe some other aces and stuff down the road. Then one of our two admirals is Bail Organa, so he comes with a combination of 5 of these tokens. 28 points here. So when a friendly ship reveals a command token, you may discard up to 1 token of each type from this card. For each token you discard, that ship gains an additional command dial matching that token's type. So pretty cool there for him to sort of use some of his wealth and influence in that sense and skills to basically give you extra dials, essentially. So pretty cool. Coming in at 28 points for Bale. And then our other one is ObiWan Kenobi. Hello there. Also 28 points. When or while a friendly ship is defending, when it spends a readied redirect token, it may reduce the total damage by 1 before it suffers damage. So pretty cool. They're obviously worth putting Kenobi, or keeping Kenobi, obviously, on a ship that isn't, or is going to be safe, obviously, for a while, but, making sure that you certainly at least have some ships where you have redirect tokens to use that as much as possible. So overall, pretty cool there. Definitely liking Kenobi. And we'll definitely have to get games in with both of them here and test things out just to see how these guys will all fit in. Then we get some of our first sort of crew upgrades here. So for 5 points, we get Clone Captain Zac. He does come with a firepower token, but he takes a firepower token to ready as well. And he can be exhausted. So again, still getting used to the new format of the cards here. I know we were kind of wondering what this all meant here when we did our Separatist unboxing, but after reading through the updated rules, so that makes sense now. And they're definitely packing a lot of stuff on these cards now. But anyway, while attacking from your side or rear hull zones, you may exhaust this card to add a die to your pool of a color that's already in your pool, but you can't add it to the barrage or volley attack. You can spend tokens from this card to ready it. So it does say, you can spend this token. I assume you can spend other ones too, because it doesn't say like you can only spend cards. Otherwise, you'd really only ready once, it would seem. But overall, pretty cool. We'll have to get test games in to see if that's really worth the 5 points and all that fun stuff. We get a clone navigation officer, so he comes with a navigate and then requires I think a hit to refresh. We'll have to double check that symbol. But anyway, 4 points on him. So when you reveal any of those dials or those symbols on the command, you may exhaust this card to choose a friendly ship at 1 to 5, and then that ship basically gains a matching command token. So pretty cool there, and you can spend tokens also to ready this card, of course. But yeah, that's pretty cool, especially the whole distance 1 to 5 thing there. That will definitely have some solid uses. So we get 2 of those guys. Then we get clone gunners, which is pretty cool here. So clones only, as you might expect. 4 points for firepower. You may discard 1 firepower token assigned to another friendly ship at 1 to 5 of the defender. So key thing there, of the defender. If you do, add a blue die set to the accuracy icon to your attack pool. So pretty sweet there. So if you can, as long as you have something near the enemy ship, basically you can be adding accuracies on, which is pretty neat there. So I think that's definitely going to be a good one. Again, let us know in the comments, guys, what you think about all these upgrades and stuff so far. Hyperspace Rings, cool to see this one. 3-point upgrade. Before deploying fleets, you may choose a number of friendly non-rogue squadrons up to your squadron value. So obviously better if you put it on a bigger ship, or a ship that has at least a good squadron value. And then those squadrons gain scout, so that's pretty cool. We'll get 2 of those. Reactive Gunnery. So a 4-pointer here. So this one I don't think we got in the Separatist one, but while defending, you may exhaust this card and spend a ready defense token to resolve the volley effect. So instead of that token's effect, okay, nice. So you cannot resolve that effect more than once per attack naturally. So pretty cool. Get 2 of those. Love that. Swivel mounts. We saw that one in the Separatist one. But again, pretty solid modification there, letting you basically attack from some different angles. An 8-pointer though, but cool thing here, again, we get multi-faction cards now, so this would work also for the Empire. So good stuff there. It'd be interesting to see how that would play out on some of the existing Imperial ships. Assault concussion missiles. So a black crit exhausts this card. Each hull zone adjacent to the defending hull zone suffers a damage. So pretty nasty. Munitions resupply. So we saw that one with the Separatist fleet. So again, pretty cool. Yeah, it comes with 5 of those, and then any of those to untap it, I believe. Hopefully it's not all 3. That would be kind of crazy. But anyway, after you reveal command dial step, you may exhaust this card and discard any number of firepower tokens from it to choose that many friendly ships at 1 to 5, and then they each gain that token too. So that's actually pretty cool, being able to spread that love out. Same idea here, except here you're spreading out engineering tokens, which I think is going to be important. Again, the damage deck seems to have more structural damages than the old ones, so I think we mentioned that in our other video. 8 of them, I think, as opposed to it was like 4 in the original. So repairs and engineering, I think, are definitely going to be much more important going forward. We get an auxiliary shields team too. Again, good stuff here. 3-pointer. You may treat the maximum shield values of your right and left hull zones as increased by 1 when you recover or move shields to those zones. If you do, the number of shields in each of those zones can't exceed a maximum of 4, which seems fine. There's not that many ships that have 5, at least for the time being. Then we get into some titles. So the Implacable here for one of our acclimators. 4-pointer. Before friendly ship or squadron at 1 to 2 suffers damage from an attack, you may exhaust this card and spend up to 2 shields from your front hull zone to reduce the total damage by that amount. So really cool, and it doesn't have that typical caveat of can't, or to a minimum of 1 or something like that. So really, you could burn some shields if you have it, and you're not really in a position where you're going to be attacked, to certainly save 2 hull damage from a friendly nearby. So that's pretty solid. I definitely like that. The Nevuta B. So this one's definitely geared towards your fighters. Each non-unique squadron that you activate gains Swarm. Well, certainly the ones we already have Swarm, but again, there's other fighters that will be available. But so they gain Swarm until the activation, but if they already have Swarm, then you can re-roll your die against ships as well, not just against squadrons. So pretty nasty there. So you can not quite be a bomber, but certainly, if you rolled something like an accuracy or whatever, or blank, certainly it's nice to be able to re-roll and just consistently put 1 damage on the opponent, which you'll wear down the shield sooner rather than later. Then we get into the upgrade, or the titles for the smaller ships here. The Radiant 7, just a 1-pointer, but you gain that for your icons or in your upgrade bar, but then you lose out on a couple things as well. So let me get that focused here. So there we go. I like the artwork on that one. Then the Swift Return, which I think was my favorite of the 2 when I was looking at this earlier. So during your determined course step, if you are at distance 1 to 2 of an obstacle, you may change your speed by 1 or increase one yaw value by 1. So really, really cool. That's a lot of good stuff for 3 points for this particular ship. So it's already fairly maneuverable, and definitely your fast ship so far. But just being able to get that extra maneuverability is really, really cool. So really like that. Speaking of which, let's move on to the ships. So the Acclimator 1, so we get the Class 1 and 2. So let's take a look at them together here. So both 7 hull, so a very solid medium ship. I'm liking that. Again, these are kind of initial reactions here from the unboxing. We'll be doing more of a detailed dive and analysis down the road here. But anyway, the Class 1 and Class 2, so again, 7 hull each. We get a brace, a redirect, and then the volley. And then we got 2 black on the Class 1, or the 1 for anti-squadron, and a blue and a black on the 2. And then they both have 3 command, 3 squadron, and 4 engineering. So again, just very solid numbers there. We can get up to speed 3. Interestingly, not very maneuverable at all, though. So speed 1, we have a click. Speed 2, we have a click and then nothing at 2. And then Speed 3 is really interesting for turning. Nothing at 1 and 3, but we do get to turn at click 2. So definitely something to keep in mind, especially if you're moving at speed with this thing. You're plan out your moves very well in advance. This thing is not turning anywhere fast without some upgrades, basically. The 1 is definitely more of a close range brawler, I think, right? It's just got the black and the red, nothing at the medium range there. So, but overall pretty nasty. One less die though out the front. We should note that. Then the Acclimator 2. So we're throwing 3 red and 2 out the front. 1 black. 3 red and 2 black out the front, 1 black and 2 red out the sides, and a black and a red out the rear. The 2 bumps things up a little bit here, so we get 6 out the front. Well, basically, we throw in an extra blue. The sides stay the same as the Acclimator 1, but then the rear we'll throw a red and a blue as opposed to a red and a black. Now, an interesting thing to point out, right? So this is just a medium ship. We got great shields out the front, and then basically 2s for everything else. So, definitely seems to be the case then that we're going to need to keep this pointed at the enemy. Getting flanked, I think, is going to bring those shields down pretty quick, and 7 hull ultimately is not going to last you forever either. So definitely going to require some solid maneuvering and sort of thinking ahead. But again, we still have other ships, other waves and stuff coming. So how we use this ship initially with just what's available versus down the road with a more fully rounded fleet, obviously things will change. And then speaking of ships and stuff and points, so the Acclimator 2 runs you 71 points, has keywords clone, bombard, and transport. Man, cannot talk today. And then the Acclimator 1, again, is a little bit cheaper at 66 points, but that just has clone and transport, so not bombard. So interesting stuff there. Really like the look of the ships regardless. But then we get into our smaller guys here, the consular classes. So we get 2 of each, of course. So 2 versions there. We have the armed cruiser and then the Charger C70. So we get 4 hull, so very similar to like the blockade runner, the Corellian Corvette. This is our little speedy boy here. So 4 hull. The consular class has 2 blue on anti-squadron, whereas the Charger just has a single black. Both very low on as far as like their dial, or not their dials, but their other stats, like 1 command, 1 squadron, 2 engineering. And then they have evade, contain, and redirect. Speaking of all that, so 2s from the front and sides and 1 shield in the rear. So again, not really going to take too much damage. But again, this is your speedy guy here, so very maneuverable at 1 and 2. 3 is okay still, and then speed 4, you don't get a click at speed, or the second click. A little weird, but you do get to turn at the further ends too. So overall, pretty cool. And again, with that title that we saw, this thing could really maneuver around some tight spots. So certainly good stuff there. And being able to change your speed or yaws is really neat. On the pew pew side, the armed cruiser, 2 blue and a black in the front, blue black on the side, and then just a blue in the rear. So overall, fairly well-rounded for what it has there. And I think really, though, I like the 2 blue anti-squadron, so that can definitely help chip away at some things. The Charger basically gives you a little bit more long range here, so we go with 2 red and a blue, and then reds out the side, which is pretty nasty. And then a red and a blue in the back, so it's a little bit stronger there over the armed cruiser. And again, just has that single black for the anti-squadron. So overall, some interesting things going on there. And then if we flip over to check our point values, so try and get it all kind of in the shot here for you guys. Yeah, that is right side up. So the consular class will only run you 37 points there. And then the the armed cruiser 37 points, and the charger clocks in a little bit more at 45. So definitely able to fit multiples of these in a fleet, and just keeping the upgrades reasonable. These certainly aren't going to take that much damage before they get whittled down. Shields, aren't much, and the hull obviously neither. So, and only the one evade there isn't gonna last you forever either. If somebody really wants to take these things on, but really cool little ships too, with a little bit of difference from the Corvettes. And then we can see our upgrade options there, so there's a little bit of difference there as well. But overall, really neat. So that again is running through the cards, the ships, the admirals, etc. for the Republic starter. So we'll take a quick look here. We'll get everything back together and assembled for you guys, so you can kind of see how that looks, and then we will finish up the unboxing. Alrighty guys, and here is the starter fleet assembled. So again, this is the Republic one, Clone Wars era for Star Wars Armada. So we got our 4 bases of fighters here for the Republic with our 1 ace. So we'll get those out of the way. Again, looks really cool. Love those things so far. On the smaller ship side, we decided to go, just to turn these around so you guys can see it on this end. So at least for our initial test game here, which we're going to try and do as a battle report for you guys very soon here. So we're going to try and go with the armed cruiser variant of the consulars. I like that double blue here, just to cut through the droid fighters, hopefully a little bit faster, and then just work on the separatist ships. And again, this is mainly blue and black all the way around, so a little bit more of a medium to short range version. The other one does have some red in there for us if we want to try that out later. But anyway, so we got both of those. And then just as compensation to have a little bit of long range, or a little bit more of a focus on long range. So for our medium here, we went with the Acclimator 2, which gives us a little bit of everything. So we definitely can still brawl a little bit at close range with the black dice there that we have, although nothing in the back. We do get the 2 out the rear here, blue-black as well on anti-squadron. So again, hopefully being able to make short work of what the Federation, the Separatists have. And then, again, red-black out the sides here, so nothing spectacular. Again, this ship is all about the front action, at least for sort of the main shots here. But we get 3 red, a blue with that, so pretty solid overall. And then 2 black as well, so should we get into some close range action. So definitely can bring some hurt out the front. And we'll just have to hope that we don't get stuck in the sides or rear, because the damage output definitely drops significantly there, and this thing is not the most maneuverable of ships to begin with. So it'll be interesting to see how these all play out. We'll definitely try and, again, get some battle reports for you guys. But hope you enjoyed our unboxing. Leave us some comments. We definitely would appreciate those. So, what do you think about the fleet as a whole, the ships, the upgrades? Does this live up to sort of the anticipation and hype that we've been waiting for years now to get like a proper really like expansion and release, new waves of stuff for Armada? I think overall, I think they knocked it out of the park here. And especially like the format here with the fleet starters. I think that's just a great way to go. And certainly looking forward to getting the fighter blisters, or not blisters, but upgrade boxes soon, just so we can have a little bit more for you guys there. And then hopefully we will get some announcements and see what like the next actual wave has. So I imagine we'll get some of these as separate boxes again with some new cards and so on and so forth. So then exciting to see what else will be out there for both factions. So again, the Separatists and then the Republic as well. So leave us some comments, guys. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. We'll definitely have more Armada content for you. Thanks so much for stopping by the channel today. We appreciate it, and we'll see you in the next one.